Assalamu alaikum students. I'm your science teacher. Today we are going to play a game that is very common, and it is name, place, animal and fruit. I'm going to give you some alphabets and you have to write name, place, animal and fruit in your notebook. The first letter that I am going to give you is P. And your time starts now. You have to write name, place, animal and fruit in your notebook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stop, stop, stop. Everyone stop. First I will give you answer that what I have written. I wrote Pavan, Pakistan as a place, pigeon in the animal portion, and the fruit is my pear. Now it's our science time. In our science time, what shall we do? During our science time, we observe, we compare, we use our eyes, and we use our ears, hand, nose and the tongue. Basically we have 5 senses, and that are eyes, nose, ears, hands, tongue. Ears are used for the sound, hearing, eyes used for observing or seeing, hand used for touching, tongue for taste, and nose for smell. Today our topic is energy. We are going to discuss about energy. Now what is energy? We cannot always see energy, touch it or hold it in our hand, but energy is everywhere. Energy is the ability to do work, to make things happen and to cause changes. Here are the picture that shows energy, and these all things used energy to do work. What is energy? I am repeating. Energy is the ability to do work. Energy is the ability to cause a change, and the change can be motion, shape, temperature and the color. Energy lights our cities, powers our vehicles and runs machinery in factories. It warms and cools our homes, cooks our food, play our music and give us pictures on the televisions. Energy is defined as the ability or the capacity to do work is known as energy. The sources of energy. From where we get energy? The biggest source of energy is our sun, and some other sources are like coal, wood, wind, water, food and electricity. Coal, wood, wind and water are the primary sources of energy, that is common, and the secondary one is the food and electricity. These are the secondary sources of energy. Now what is the law of conservation of energy? We say that energy cannot be created or not be destroyed. Energy may change form, but the total amount of energy remains the same. It means that energy can't be created nor be destroyed, but it only converted from one form of energy to another form. And this is known as the law of conservation of energy. Here are the forms of energy. We have electricity energy, heat, light energy, sound energy. Let's learn about the heat energy. Now what is heat energy? Heat or the thermal energy is how hot or cold an object is. It tells about how cold or how hot object is. Heat energy is transferred from warmer object to the colder one. Heat energy can be produced from other forms of energy. The temperature of an object is related to how much the thermal energy that an object has. Now we will discuss about the light energy. Light energy is a type of a wave energy which can be sensed by the eyes. Other types of energy can be produced light energy. Light energy produced by the sun is called as a solar energy. Light energy always travels away from its sources, and these pictures shows that these are the light energy sources that give us light energy. Now, the definition is that of light energy is it is produced by the vibration of electrically charged particles. Light vibrations causes energy to be transmitted. For example, the energy used to cook food in microwave is a form of a light energy. And the second one example is the radar system that are used for air traffic control and used as a form of light energy. Light energy is also used in photosynthesis, as we see plants and all greenery that uses the light energy, and they kept light energy from sun. Next is we are going to discuss about sound energy. Sound energy is created when an object vibrates. The object vibrates and pushes the air molecule nearby which travel as a sound. I am speaking and you are hearing. This is because sound is traveling by the vibration waves. Here are the example that a drum is we hear by us only when the drumsticks are hidden to the drum, and this produces vibration. Now tell me which material produce sound energy. You have to answer me that which energy is given by these materials. Sound energy is given by the cell phone, by the drum, by the whistle, by the car, by the guitar. Next is we are going to discuss about the electrical energy. Now, what is electrical energy? Electrical energy is caused by the movement of electrons. It is basically the movement of negative particles. Negative charge is known as the electrical energy. Electrical energy can just be simply referred as electricity. It is one of the four fundamental forces of nature and the one that is responsible for the behavior of electrically charged objects. Simple is that what is electric energy? It is the flow of negative particles that causes the generation of electrical energy. Now we will discuss about the types of the energy. Previous we have discussed about the forms of energy, and here we are going to discuss about the types of energy. One is potential energy and the second one is kinetic energy. First we are going to discuss about the potential energy. The stored up energy which has the potential energy to do work is known as a potential energy. Basically potential energy, it means that its position, the energy that is stored because of its position is known as a potential energy. For example, a car parked in a parking lot, that is the potential energy. Why? Because it is stationary, it is at the position. And a child at the top of the slide, it has also a potential energy. A ball sitting on a table, some pulling an arrow back on a bow, all these have a potential energy because of its position. And potential energy have further types. One is elastic potential energy, the gravitational energy second, and the third one is the chemical potential energy. First we are going to discuss about the gravitational potential energy. It is the energy stored in an object as a result of position or height. It is the energy that is produced by the gravity that attracts the material towards itself, and it is vertical. A potential energy of a body is due to the elevated position. The vertical means that state. Next is chemical potential energy. Potential energy stored within the chemical bonds of an object is known as a chemical potential energy. For example, in a car battery, in a remote cell, these all have a chemical potential energy, and we also have a chemical potential energy such that organ beads, these all have a chemical potential energy. And the third one is the elastic potential energy. It is the energy stored in an elastic material as a result of their stretching or compression. The more stretched, the more stored energy is going to be produced. Now we will discuss about the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. It is the energy of a moving object or energy in a motion. The word kinetic comes from the Greek word that is kinetikosis, which means moving. Here, little difference. Kinetic energy is produced when an object is moving, while potential energy is produced when the object is at its position, that are its stationary phase, and the moving one is known as a kinetic energy. Kinetic energy examples. Here are some examples of the kinetic energy that have a stored kinetic energy. An arrow released from the bow flying through the air is have a kinetic energy. An object that is rolling down a hill is also have a kinetic energy. Then muscles moving also have a kinetic. All moving object has always have kinetic energy, and it depends on the mass and the speed. Mass, for example, heavy ball and less heavy ball, these also have a mass, and the splashing of these balls is having a speed. So basically potential energy is a energy that is stored in its position, and the kinetic energy, it means that it is in the moving on object. The energy stored in a moving object is known as the kinetic energy, while at stationary the energy which is stored is known as the potential energy. Now, what is energy conservation? Most of the energy we use come from the fossil fuels. Heat energy generated from them is used for heating, cooking, generating electricity and running machines. Now, what is fossil fuel? Fossil fuel means that coal, wood, these all are the fossil fuels. Making wise choice in order to save the energy is known as a energy conservation. Why to conserve? Why we have to conserve these energies? We have limited fuels available on the earth. Our demand for energy is increasing day by day. It is possible that sometimes most of the fuels will be exhausted and we will have to switch on to the alternate energy. So that's why always use the energy less and required conserve, and be sure that you have to conserve your energy, save your energy. I hope you get it today's lecture, and this is your homework. You have to do page number 134 of your textbook, on your textbook, and please answer these following questions in your copies, and your deadline is Wednesday. Please complete your assignments. Thank you.